Hello, and welcome back to our Japanese 1890 campaign, Rise of the Dragon. During the last episode, we had a nice little battle way up north, which I've been thinking about ever since, and I realized that it might not be too bad of an idea to deploy a couple of submarines to the North Pacific. If England or Britain or whatever you want to call it, the UK is going to be, well, I guess in this area it is Great Britain, is going to be up here doing things, then maybe they have some transports up there that could be targeted. We wouldn't send very many. We could send, let's say, just a couple, like these three. Well, these two. We'll just send those to the North Pacific. We'll probably be pretty lonely up there with not a whole lot to do. Meanwhile, we are getting outnumbered here in Southeast Asia. So what we will do is we will cancel our target of Singapore. And even though we don't particularly want these Chinese territories, we'll set them as an invasion target anyway. And if we get rid of it, then they'll have no base at all in Northeast Asia. We could consider transferring maybe another few ships down here. So let's save the game as usual and go to the next turn. Probably a battle down here in the south at some point. This is Eastern Australia. Oh, this is our Southeast or Southern Pacific Task Force down here, going up against battleships. Although they couldn't challenge us. That's pretty cool. We have a convoy defense up here. Boy, out of all the ships that we have up here, we're only deploying a couple. Well, unless something screwy happens, that'll be fine. So let's check the time. It'll be daylight in 10 hours. So that is somewhat to our advantage, these night engagements, since we tend to ripple off a lot of torpedoes. All right, there we go. So a point blank encounter. We could very well get shot to pieces before we ever get to shoot off our torpedoes. Ideally, we wouldn't want our destroyers engaging super point blank like that because we do have longer torpedo range now. But whatever that was, it took off. So rather than risk getting caught out, we're going to go find our transports and try to escort them. There they are. Oops. Oh, well, that tells us the speed, 8 speed. I mean, if this is all that happens in this battle, then it'll be a win if we can save all these transports. Just going to zoom back and forth. I know this is a boring one, but it is important to score points. A couple of AI destroyers. Yep, we'll just cruise back and forth. How close to daylight are we? 7 hours. Yeah, we're not too likely to get the daylight in this one. Sort of an odd pattern of patrol, but we're really just trying to keep up. Running low on fuel, so we'll put our destroyers on cruise. And it looks like we've got them safely to port. Okay, well, it's just a little wind. Oh, those were destroyers. Okay, there they are. They're down there in the bottom right. Well, 900 points. That'll offset a little bit of the blockade they're doing to us. These are the new destroyers. Improved 15-inch guns. Those would be pretty nice to mount onto something. Private dive bomber. It has a little bit more range, same speed, less maneuverability, more toughness. You know, I kind of like that. It's okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We lost a submarine. We lost another submarine. And they're raiding us. Hey, okay. The U.S. has entered the war on our side. That was another thing. Germany is getting pretty tense with them because they are our ally. I don't see the tension here. I must be missing something. We've got some steel shortages slowing down our destroyer builds. Eh, all right, well, that's a good thing. Having the U.S. on your side in a big war, that could really swing the balance of things. It really just depends on whether the U.S. Gets aggressive about it or not. If they come out and play, or if they stick close to home, although they could threaten a lot of stuff over here. Uh, Great Britain will have to bring forces home if they want to protect these Canadian and Caribbean uh, territories. As we can see, they've been surging. Oh, wow, they don't have very much in Southeast Asia anymore. I wonder if this stuff is going to North America or if it's moving because yeah, they're like moving it around a lot. Yeah, they just, okay. I think they're moving to Southeast Asia. All right, let's take a look at these new destroyers. They're going to take a while to work up, so we'll wait to put them in a division. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And we'll add a couple of destroyer divisions to put those into when the time is right. So we'll do 3 of those. All right, well, let's continue on and see what we get. I mean, so far we're winning the war pretty decisively, 10,500 to 500 essentially. So let's save the game and go to the next turn. Or do we want to start building up some dock? Nah, everyone's still way ahead of us, but we're not building enough right now to justify increasing our dock size. Here we go. Now, our battleships up here are the Ackies, so they're not great. Although we do have a lot of forces in Northeast Asia. Wow, we started out pretty close as well. All right, well, let's see what happens. Do we have a carrier here or not? We do. We have the Haruna. Is it back here? All right. So what we're going to do is, it's an AI division. All right, so we have a lot of cruisers. So this one is going to go support our carrier division, wherever it's at. I don't even see it on the list here. All right, well, can we do a destroyer division? Huh. Well, let's move a destroyer division over there anyway. And we'll get some airstrikes ready to go. So we'll auto select and ready some strikes. Start getting some speed up on our battleships. Yeah, why not? So we primarily want our battleships to head towards the objective to do some shore bombardment stuff. Just get those out of the way. And if we happen to spot any enemy ships out here, we will be able to launch pretty much an endless amount of torpedoes at them. Not that that's been particularly effective for us so far, but all it takes is one to get lucky on a big ship. There's our battle cruisers. We haven't seen those. They will escort the, yeah, let's have them escort the merchants. And that we'll attach that like that. So we'll have a little bit less to micromanage. Yeah, we'll put that as core. We'll AI control this one. And the Tone will go with the rest of the fleet. Get our battle speed going. And we're all set pretty much. Should start spotting stuff fairly quickly. They will have a lot of aircraft out there. Nope, select that. Go for maximum cap. And 150 miles. No, 100 miles. That's better. There they are. Well, this is the plan here. We'll see how well that goes. Wonder how old the Superb class is. 1920. So it's about on par. Yeah, 1910. Those are about on par with our Ackies. So we'll see what happens. It's all going to depend on how much they begin maneuvering. So our classic, not very effective strategy with these things is to dump their torpedoes, and then they'll fall back and help escort the transports. In this other division that's fresh, we're gonna go squad max on them and come over and rotate them in. So these can go away and we'll see what happens. There's a lot of torpedoes. It doesn't look like very many of them are going to be on target. Man, our battleship is getting pummeled here. That is the truth. And the Kawachi is being hit by torpedoes and it's gone. Yeah, it's done. All right, we will detach it. And I don't know where the heck we could send it. Well, all right, we'll send it this way. Yeah, this is not going well for us so far, but it is an old battleship. Wow, that was a good strike by them. Well, let's see if we can't even the score. I wonder who launched those torpedoes. Was it the might have even been the battleships? Yep, and this says this destroyer is going to slow down to cruise and go up here to help with the transports. This one here is coming over to support the Tone. I think can slip south-ish. Let's swing that a little bit north. Okay, Kawachi. There's a chance we could get that home, depending on how well our damage control does. And we are spreading out the targets a bit, just to spread the range, or like the spread out the torpedo spread itself. I mean, that Collingwood might be in some trouble. Nope. Boy, this is kind of crazy. We will have that go escort the Kawachi home. There we go. Now we're getting some torpedo hits. Fire these at the Collingwood. There, you hit us with 2 torpedoes, we hit you with 2 torpedoes. You come at me with a knife, I come at you with a gun. Oh boy, the Aki's getting pummeled. I didn't have super high hopes for this thing, but is this one of our new? No, this is an Orboar class. I was gonna say they hadn't been worked up yet. Hit the Collingwood. Do I have anything left? Jeez Louise. It might come down to the firepower of the battle cruisers in terms of sinking or destroying the enemy shore defenses. Now there's a ship that's been lingering down here, and I'm wondering if that's maybe a carrier. You're just getting spammed with torpedoes to no effect at all. All right, cool. And we did upgrade our NACAs with torpedo reloads. All right, there's an AV. So we get the Tone down there. That'd be pretty cool. All right, let's get our battle cruisers involved. Start getting them in here. Now, do we finally want to launch our airstrikes? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. We'll target the AV down there. So we'll auto select our strike. They're not ready yet. So how do we do this? We select ready. We're going to target the AV. There it is. And launch strike. And yes, we'll coordinate. And we'll auto select and start getting some others ready. All right, these are empty. Sorry, these are empty. These are empty. And this thing here, we can take it off AI control and start getting it involved. This is our second wave of battleships, essentially, since our first wave got completely owned. Escort the Kawachi home, please. These are out of torpedoes. So I guess we'll just send them home. Little destroyer gunboats aren't going to do a whole lot to help us out. Tone has lost pretty much all of its guns. It had a flash fire. All right. Well, the Tone is done. It's a good. I still think they're okay little ships. Okay little heavy cruisers. But it was not up to the task today. So these really are just AVs? That's weird. I didn't think they had any AVs. How's my Aki looking? It's flooding. Alright, well, you know what? You can go home too. I mean, I thought a 2 versus 2 battleship fight would go a little bit better for us, but obviously not. And this thing here can leave. Destroyers versus AVs. I'm not sure how that works out. I think the AVs are probably armed. Yeah, they have 8 5-inch guns. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens. The battleships seem like they've really slowed down. The Collingwood only has medium damage, but it did take at least one of our oxygen torpedoes. All right, Tone, slow you down and send you home too. Not our finest hour. And then oops, that's not right. Are our strikes ready to go? No, not yet. Actually, we have some torpedo bombers ready. We'll ready those. We only have 7 torpedo bombers ready to go. Uh-oh. I'm sending them at the wrong target. Oh well, that's fine. It says heavy cruiser, but I suspect. Now it says destroyer. I suspect that might be a light carrier. But there's not a whole lot we can actually do about it. And our destroyer here is going to get itself into a lot of trouble if we don't get it out of there. So let's start getting our we'll send our battle cruisers south. Well, we need something to hit the shore guns with. Yeah, we'll send that south. The Fuso is going to make a beeline for the guns. Let's take these off AI control and get them into the action. And we'll take our cruisers off AI control and try and work them south as well. These groups down here interest me. Sinking a couple battleships is good, which I think we're probably going to do because they're already hit. with torpedoes and slow, but sinking carriers and AVs, I guess, are even better. Okay, approaching the Fuso. Well, let's see what happens. This thing here has fired off all of its torpedoes. So we've taken one bomb hit so far to the superstructure. So we've taken a bomb hit to one of our destroyers. Or a near miss, maybe. This is where things really slow down in this game, where you have to stop and read all these reports. Speaking of reports, get rid of all those and clean the map up a little bit. They're approaching our KE division. Is that? Oh, so they're approaching the transports essentially. All right, well, we'll slow these down because they're escorting. This has gotten a little bit obnoxious in terms of how spread out this battle is. Well, if they're torpedo bombing destroyers, that's a good thing. If they hit, they'll sink it, but they're not very likely to hit, and they are just aging destroyers. All right, we have to get this squadron closer. This division. Kawachi's avoiding torpedoes. That's one of our damaged. Yep, that's one of the ones we're trying to. That was the one that took 2 torpedo hits immediately when the battle began. They have a lot of aircraft, apparently. Yeah, that's that report down here that I thought was a carrier. The Glorious. And if we can catch up to it, it's probably just as fast. Yeah, it's almost as fast as our destroyers. All right, so we get hit by a bomb and a dud. All right, is there anything we can do here to like wrap this up? Like if we could, take care of this stuff up here, we could focus on everything to the south. All these ships are maneuvering to avoid being bombed. If we could get out ahead of these carriers down here, or that carrier, and start putting some torpedoes into the water, that would help us out a lot, I think. I came into this fight a little bit like confident, but it's not going. It's honestly not going all that well. We're scoring hits with the 13 inchers on like the Devonshire. It's at heavy damage. Another 13-inch hit. Another 13-inch hit. Yeah, unfortunately, the our destroyers are just a little bit too slow to get out ahead of this Glorious. We can get a, yeah, can't get a proper solution on them yet. Go home. I think this was the one that was out of ammo. No, not quite. All right, we'll bring it back in here and see if we can't make use of it. The few torpedoes it has left. So the battle cruisers are going to keep on chasing. The Fuso is going to go over here and try to get rid of these shore batteries. I'm hitting the wrong button again. Okay, we have just a couple of torpedo bombers ready to go, but they would get shot down by enemy cap if I sent them down there to deal with these. Yeah, funny. It's kind of funny how we're getting outran by carriers, but that's what we get for not keeping up with the destroyer technology. All right, so our airstrikes are going in. That must be right. Oh, they're going for the Collingwood. All right, yeah, do it. Let's see what we can get done. All right, and our airbase stuff is finally getting involved. Devonshire got hit by a torpedo. That's good. We want that ship out of the way. This is pretty chaotic, huh? Hitting the Superb with little 6-inch guns. Not quite what we need. Fuso just took a bomb hit. It is up here by itself. It's okay, though. It's still good to go. Hitting the Collingwood with 13-inch guns. All right, let's see if we can't do something here. There we go. There we go. Oops. There we go. And they're maneuvering a little bit. Again, we're spreading them out. Funny, it's taken like 30% damage, but that's not enough to detach it. All right, well, I mean, the invasion is still on the way. Our battle cruisers have taken a few hits, but they seem to still be in pretty good condition. We need to swap sides to shoot more torpedoes. But what we'll do is we'll just keep these going southish, and hopefully we can begin targeting. We'll go that way. We can start targeting their carriers. I mean, this torpedo wave looks pretty good. Oh, you want to detach the thing that you wouldn't let me detach? Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. No. We have a pretty good idea of where everything is for the moment. Okay. Now we can send this one home. You know, I'm starting to think there might not be any shore batteries. Go home, and we'll go that way. If we can pin them up against the land, essentially, that would be pretty good. We'll fire off one little salvo of torpedoes, but otherwise, we need to start sending ships south. Oh, there's coastal batteries. Okay, there they are. They weren't showing up. We'll go max -2 to give him better gunnery, and he'll duel it out with the shore batteries. Unless they're like super heavy guns or something, he should be just fine. They're typically, 4 to 6 inch guns. Huh. Fuso takes an engine room hit from the shore battery, just as I say that. Collingwood is getting pummeled again. I mean, if we could just finish off these battleships, that would be so helpful. And now we lose control of these cruisers, which we really needed for the torpedo micro. The Devonshire looks pretty dead in the water there. Let's start getting those carriers out of. So we'll send the Shiratsu, which is slow, up here to try to finish off the Devonshire if it has any torpedoes. It does. All right, let's turn the Fuso around. Keep hitting those batteries. We mustn't forget our main objective here. Well, you would think. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, he would think something here would start scoring hits. There we go. Game over for their battleships. Now the question is, where the heck did all these carriers go down here? Let's not sail on too predictable of a line. Can we get these back under our control yet? No, we cannot. All right, so all this stuff up here is dead in the water. So that means our battle cruisers can go down here and begin helping. All right, let's get rid of some of these reports so we get fresh information from down here. Is that it? Is that the last of the shore batteries? Looks like there's one little ship still down here going, a destroyer. What we will do is be sure of sinking those battleships. All right, there we go. We're making contact again. That's good. Now that we're getting some destroyers down here and cruiser division. Fuso's getting straddled. It's losing the battle against shore batteries. Yep, okay. This is probably the carrier division. And do we have anything with like real guns over here that can help the Fuso? Not really. There's the Aki, but it looks like it's on fire or something. Look at all the smoke coming off of it. No, it's just been getting beat up, or it's been beat up. Boy, the Kawachi may go down. It has -1 crew quality somehow. Yeah, it may very well flood out. It's still got 8 flooding going, so farewell to the Kawachi. You would have been a lot better 15 years ago. All right, so we got one set for the Superb and one set for the Collingwood. And then go home. Oh, they're approaching our carrier division. That's not good. Hopefully we have some, yeah, we got some cap over here. That will do. Maybe it would be better to send the battle cruisers up to help with the shore bombardment, but if we could catch these carriers, of course, the battle division is kind of slow, but if the carriers are in this pocket here somewhere, they won't be able to get away from my battle cruisers. And we are hitting the coastal batteries. We'll slow the Fuso down a little bit more to give it more time. We'll send it, we'll make it a cruise. That'll give it more time on each pass. And it'll probably also make it more accurate if maybe not, a little bit easier target as well, unfortunately, but everything comes at a cost. I really would have liked for the Tone to have more of a role in this battle because I still like this heavy cruisers, but maybe the 8-inch guns just don't have enough oomph to them, and a 12,000 or 14,000 ton cruiser in this era isn't going to be okay. There we go. It's not going to be like very durable to begin with. Well, it looks like we killed one coastal battery so far. Ooh. So this is the above water oxygen torpedoes. A near miss from a bomb caused all this damage. Okay, well, what we can do is we can detach it. Well, it's not sufficiently damaged yet, but it will be. But that is the risk we take with these powerful torpedoes of ours. So these are level bombers. This must be from the air bases. All right. Well, let's see if we can put any torpedoes into the Glorious. Up against the shore, it's a little bit weird and awkward because they like maneuver strangely in their speed changes. Okay. We just need to slow them down so that our cruisers can catch up. I mean, just the cruisers could probably deal with this. In fact, let's send the. Well, no, I think the shore bombardment is going to be done here soon enough. And I feel like our. Well, maybe I was gonna say maybe our torpedoes didn't hit, but they're still on the way. It's a lot to keep track of here. Still got destroyers hanging out here, but we're not too worried about that. In fact, we'll start sending some. Well, these guys are slow, 25 knots. How about this one here? This is a maybe no torpedoes, but at least it's got good health on it. Still keeping up speed. And that is a durable coastal battery. I know one way to slow these down potentially. Just get in close. Try to get them to maneuver. I mean, I guess we'll just get into a gun duel with carriers. Why not? All right, Fuso, swing back around. Yeah, they're still going after our carrier division, huh? So we do have cap. Oh no, we've been hit and we're on fire. Oh no. Our converted aircraft carrier. So we're going to slow it down. Actually, let's go to max speed and let's just see if we can't get out of here. If we lose it, we lose it. Again, these things are meant for the scrapyard. Question is, how the heck are they able to track this thing out here so well? All right, let's go check on this fight down here. No torpedoes left. That thing there is Dunskies. Yeah, so we're losing all of our destroyers that are in pursuit. I mean, it's hard for just a few destroyers to slow down so many ships, including cruisers. I'm not going to blame them. We're sacrificing them. Again, it's the old Oboros. We're sacrificing them for the hope of slowing down the carriers. All right, how bad is the Haruna flooding? 20, and it's on fire. So I guess we have to slow it down. Slow it down to 6. Limit flooding. And it looks like we've got an open corridor here. Oh, that's good. That is really good how they're maneuvering around like that right there. That's really going to slow them down. Give these cruisers a chance to catch up. Our cruisers can probably end this fight. Because the NACAs ended up strangely good. Excuse me. The NACAs ended up strangely good at gun battles, despite being refitted as uh, torpedo cruisers with reloads. All right, how's I still see the coastal battery battle going up on up here. Let's slow it down even more. Let's go to 14 knots. Hopefully we can land the decisive hit. Are we still on fire? We still are on fire. Well, oh boy, let's get that out of there. We need to start aiming some of these ships up here. Are we being chased? Oh, the Oboshi is still on fire after being hit by that bomb. We're getting a near miss from that bomb. Okay, well, that is on AI control. It's going to turn it around to deal with this destroyer that's pursuing us. It's a lot to concentrate on all at once. You know what? Let's stop doing these low speed torpedoes and start trying to get in closer so we can do some high speed launches. I am curious about where the AVs went. All right, that should help us out a lot there. So I have a feeling the AVs might be in here somewhere. So we're going to send the battle cruisers that way. Since things are looking a little bit more solid down here now. Glorious took a second round of torpedoes. And is that shore battery dead? It is. So let's park the Fuso. So we're gonna slow it down and hope no more bombers arrive between now and nighttime in 1 hour. No, can I? No, this thing's still on AI control. The Eboshi. Oh, that's so ignorant. It goes to AI control and it increases the speed, so it'll increase the flooding on it. Well, the first stragglers from the battle are starting to go home now. Not sure if I want to call this one a victory or not just yet. We're losing a bunch of destroyers, maybe some cruisers, maybe a battleship, maybe a carrier. Right, the Fuso doesn't have to do anything else. It's up here. Yep. I mean, let's see if the Harun is still on fire. Looks like it is. Yep, it's gonna burn down. Yeah, it has nothing left. It's done. Fire is spreading on it even. Farewell, Haruna. You weren't a real battle. You weren't a real aircraft carrier anyway. That Glorious is still going. That's a tough little CV. 56 aircraft. That's like the one we sank in the North Pacific. Oh my gosh, we're getting pummeled here. Let's just try to finish them off while we can. Oh my goodness. Come on. Fire off salvo number 2. What the heck's going on here? Let's detach that. Let's go to full speed. Okay. This thing here is just not doing well. In fact, we're going to turn this one around to help deal with these destroyers down here. All right, we've completed the objective. We'll send the battle cruisers this way. We'll send a destroyer division, although it's empty. We're going to send it this way to scout for those AVs. This one here is empty. It's also going to go scout for AVs. And then this one here is also going to go scout for AVs. Actually, there's a destroyer running around out here, but that doesn't matter. Okay, what a mess. What a complete mess. What is that? Is that a destroyer? What's wrong with it? It's been flooding. So we're going to send it home. That's going to go home. Of course, it can come over here and help us deal with this little destroyer that's been menacing us. Yep, there goes the Haruna. Knew that was going to happen once the fires started spreading again. Battle cruisers versus cruiser. I mean, it's a nice gunship. It's putting a hurting on us. That's probably what did most of the damage to our cruisers and destroyers down here. But it will not stand up to our battle cruisers. Oh, there we go. That's okay. That's a good thing. So let's send the battle cruisers that way. These destroyers aren't going to be able to do much other than spot until the battle cruiser gets there. So we're going to go like that. We're going to go close to shore to make sure they don't get away. And they can like spot and engage essentially. And we're going to put the battle cruisers closer to shore. Okay, that's a good sign. Yeah, we're probably going to lose some of these destroyers, but the most important thing they can do right now is keep engaged, stay close. We need them to scout in the dark. Thought we had a cruiser. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, it's getting pummeled because I drove it right into the middle of a bunch of ships. But in its death, it serves a purpose. The Odachi's getting hit by a torpedo. Oh, over here. Whatever. We're getting rid of the Oboros anyway. And if we can trade an Oboro for a light carrier, there goes the Kawachi. Oh no, we lost track of these things. Where could they have gone? Okay, well, not the best result we could have hoped for there. Are they in here somewhere? I'll send that one down there to check. Well, we are taking a lot of losses here. And they're still torpedoing a dead ship. So that kind of gives away where they're at. Nighttime fell at a pretty inconvenient time when we were doing this chase. All right, there are some of them. This might be the carriers or the AVs. This thing here doesn't have any torpedoes. But you know what does? Our cruiser. Yeah, we started this battle with so many assets, and we are down to the bottom of the barrel here. We've lost our converted carrier and one of our old Ackies. But in exchange, we did kill one of their carriers and a couple of battleships. So we'll see how this goes in the end. Again, we're sacrificing the destroyers to keep an eye on where their ships are at. Once our battle cruisers get involved, it's going to be hopefully game over. We really don't want to get torpedoed. Even though this is a super close knife fight with a bunch of destroyers. There it is. And of course we got torpedoed. Why not? Well, we will detach the Congo. We will slow it. Well, we'll get it out of here first. We'll go that way. I mean, is it worth trading one of our old battle cruisers for a light carrier? Probably not. Probably not. but there's a chance we could save this thing. We've stopped the flooding at least, so as long as we can keep it from getting hit anymore, I say as another destroyer appears out of the dark. All right, I think I'm finally out of torpedo reloads. What's wrong with this thing? It's slowed down as well. All right, I guess we can just get it out of there. We'll take the Chokai out of there as well because it's starting to flood. All right, yeah, we'll just break off. We'll call this I'm not sure if we'll call it a win. We'll see what it looks like on the score sheet. Who the heck is shooting at people? Oh, there's still one little destroyer cruising around out here. Whatever. This thing is still flooding. It might be time to swap from our torpedo, like doctrine, over to damage control. Just cruise around with this ship for now. And go home. These stupid things. Are just going to crash into the wall. Let's just clean up now. We're way over time. This is a super long episode. I apologize. Yes. So it hits a mine. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So the Chokai goes down, playing in the band. Let's look at this mess. We lost a battleship. We lost one of the Akais. We lost our converted aircraft carrier. We lost a cruiser. We lost 7 destroyers. I honestly thought we lost a little bit more than that, but we killed 2 battleships, 1 carrier, 1 light carrier, a heavy cruiser, light cruiser, 6 destroyers, and we successfully landed. So it's a pretty big win, but we can't take many more wins like that. We did kill a bunch of their aircraft that went down with their aircraft carriers, and we lost 43 of our own that were on the Haruna. So let's take a look at the map. I mean, there's not a whole lot else we could have done there. So let's end the scenario. They scored 10,000 points. We scored 23,000, and we've landed. What a mess. We really could use Germany to hop in and help us out, or the US to get over here and do some work for us. Relations, tension with Germany still up with Great Britain. All right. Well, that was a super long episode. I salute you. You stuck in through all of it. That was a mess. I definitely made some mistakes, but it is hard to coordinate all of that at once. The biggest loss I would say out of all that was probably the Aki that we lost, but time will tell. We'll see what happens. All right, well, I'll save the game here and see you next time. Again, thank you for hanging out and sail safely.